Right, let's do it.
We're live. Hello, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Geez, I don't know where time goes. It just seems like we were just Wednesday before, but we're back again. So I hope that everybody is getting their pens and paper out and getting ready to go because we've got some really important information that people just need to hear. And maybe it's already something you already know, but you need some reminders of because sometimes we just sort of forget about ourselves. So today we're going to have an awesome show. And Nicole, tell us about what's happening today.
Well, I'm really excited for this because I think I probably need it more than anybody. And we have brought in Ashley Blaza. And Ashley is a certified skincare specialist. She's a wife and a mom of 7 and a grandma. Now, I would think that if anybody needed to take care of their skin, it would be her because that's a lot of work. You know, I can barely keep up with my two. And she needs to make sure that she's taking care of herself, not just to look youthful, but also for her physical and mental health. And for a long time, she put the needs of others before herself, and she almost like lost her life because of this. And it was after giving birth to her sixth child that she became very sick. So I think that's a really good place to start this interview because I'm really curious, Ashley, to hear what happened and what epiphanies you had that made you move forward with skincare and learning to really take care of yourself.
Well, first, ladies, I want to say thank you for having me on today. And normally, yes, I would be in a full face of makeup and my hair all done, but we're going to do some demo later and we're going to save that for the end or towards the end. But back to the story of what led me here. So, baby number 6 had a home birth, everything went great. And I ended up developing somewhere along the lines a strep B bacteria or strep A, excuse me, bacterial infection that went septic. So that landed me in the hospital for 10 days. And then I was home for a few weeks and then I was back in the hospital again. And chest tubes, the whole 9 yards. It was very, very scary. And during that time, my skin became really dry, dull, and broken out. And I had battled in the past with broken out skin, dry, dullness, flaking, and nothing I used helped. I was using natural products. I was using, all the things that I could think of, and nothing was helping. And then I had this weird eczema breakout that happened on my hand. And every now and again, it does flare up because of my diet. But I couldn't get rid of it. I tried essential oils. I tried coconut oil. I tried all the things. And once I discovered the products that I use today that have aloe as the first ingredient, it was a game changer. So I knew, okay, if that works for that, what can it do for my skin? So that's what led me into more products and changing the trajectory, the texture, the dryness, the hydration of my skin. And then after I went through all of that sickness and I really battled mentally of, I'm taking care of the family. I've got a new baby and my oldest son, he's moved away. He's in the Marine Corps. And okay, now what? I homeschool. I had high expectations that things were going to change because, hey, I almost died, right? And mentally, I was in a dark place. My marriage was on the rocks and life was just not in a good situation. And I needed something that poured into me that I could use for my own self-care, and that would bring me community, and grown-up conversations, if you will, being with 6 kids, a baby and all the things, like, and you've got only tiny human interaction, you need grown-up interaction.
Totally.
So that led me onto this journey. And back after I graduated high school, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay. So
Continue
back
on.
when I graduated high school, I went to school for massage therapy. So I was very familiar with the body, with the skin, and that healing process of what like massage can do and the modalities that can do. So I was already familiar with like those natural products and the benefits that it can have on the skin. So it was kind of like a follow-up years later to, okay, now I can get back into, doing facials for women, or, something with the skin, just maybe not as much as the massage industry when, I had graduated back then. But so that's kind of what led me to where I am today, and teaching women how to take care of their skin, because so often we don't prioritize ourselves. We give and we give and we give. And then at the end of the day, we're like, oh, okay, I don't have time. I'm just going to crawl into bed. Like
You sound like you're calling my number.
I'm resonating with this too, Glenda. It's like I'm hanging my head because everything she's saying, crawling into bed, and I take a little bit of time, but not like I used to.
Yeah.
And I really should, and I know that. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that. But when you talk about taking care of your skin, I heard you mention eczema on your hand. It's not just your face, is it? It's every portion of your body
Yeah.
is skincare, isn't it?
Yes. So when I think I was probably like 18 or 19. And one winter, it was really weird. It was super cold here in Wisconsin. And I had like these patches on my legs. I, of course, went to the doctor, got the creams, all those types of things. And I was not a fan. I mean, yes, did it work? Of course it did. But it was, okay, what's the root cause to the eczema? And that kind of led me into that path of supplementation and diet and all of those types of things. But if I eat dairy or gluten, and I'm thinking that those are the main triggers, and it's super weird because it's just like on like this or this middle finger on my right hand. So when it first flared, it was super itchy. I couldn't bend my finger. And when you're right-handed, to write something when your hand is swollen and like you can't like bend your finger, you're like, okay, I'm going to make this work. But like I said, nothing had helped. I was trying lavender and tea tree and thinking, okay, maybe it's some type of like almost like an athlete's foot kind of type thing, or I was trying all the things and literally nothing helped. And I even talked to one of my essential oil like gurus that I know, and she's like, yeah, try these few. Okay, great. Did that. Still nothing. And then my cousin was having a party for this company that I am now part of. And I was looking through all the befores and afters, and eczema was one of the things. And I was like, aloe, duh. But did you know that there is hundreds of species of aloe? And this company uses the aloe vera barbadensis Miller, which is like that top species that has the most minerals and nutrients to it in all of their products as the first ingredient. I was like, okay, let's give it a whirl. What do I have to lose at this point? I've tried everything else. I've got nothing to literally lose. So I ordered it. It came. I started applying it. And within like 2 days, I could move my hand. It wasn't itchy. It wasn't swelling anymore. The cracks were gone. I was like, whoa, what did I just like dive into? And that kind of spiraled into the process of, okay, let's try my face, because after being sick, my skin was so flaky and dull and just, it was gross. Pores were clogged. And okay, now I've got to try something more in this skincare piece. So let's add, the regimen and see what it does. But a common thing that I hear from women, from moms, is I don't have time. I just use water, or like, that's too many products. I don't know how to do a routine. And that's what I teach women, is how to have that routine. From start to finish, my routine takes me about 3 minutes. That's it. And even at night, and I make it so simple. I tell ladies, when you get up in the morning, the first thing you do is you go to the bathroom, right? You brush your teeth, you wash your face, go pee, wash your hands, wash your face, brush your teeth. That simple. I keep my skincare, like my cleanser, right on the sink, and it's right there. So after I pump my hands, wash them, I pump my cleanser, wash my face, boom, I brush my teeth, I'm out of the bathroom. It's that simple. And so many times we overcomplicate it because we think it needs to be this big, elaborate, like, half-hour serenade in the bathroom. Like, it does not need to be that.
Now you're making me feel guilty because you're saying it only takes 3 minutes. And here's something that I've always thought about too, is because I used to have really good, at night, I would really pay attention to what I was doing to my face because I was going to sleep those 8 hours. So why is it important to do it in the morning as well?
So in the morning, let's go to the nighttime. When you're sleeping, your skin is rejuvenating. It's pushing dead skin cells forward. So in the morning, plus you're sweating, right? So if you're sweating while you're sleeping, bacteria, especially if you use a cotton pillowcase. If you use a cotton pillowcase, that holds that moisture and that bacteria into that pillowcase. So you want to use like a satin or a silk pillowcase, one that will help so you don't get those lovely sleep lines on your face in the morning, but it keeps your skin smooth, it doesn't hold moisture, and it doesn't cause any wrinkles. So in the morning, you want to wash all of the night's bacteria off your face, right? And then as you're going through the day, think of all the things you come in contact with environmentally. If you're in an office building and there's air conditioning, if you're touching your face, just anything that you come in contact with during the day, that stays on your face, right? So then if you come home at night and you're like, oh, I'm too tired, you're just going to crawl into bed. You're just continuing that bacteria cycle. You're aging your skin because you're not washing the day's garbage off your face. If you wear makeup, that clogs your pores. People will say, well, I use makeup wipes. That's really not washing your face, though. When you're using a makeup wipe, you're actually pressing the makeup, the debris, and the bacteria into your pores versus washing it off. So it's makeup remover wipes. Yeah, if you're going to use them,
it could be a start, right?
Yes.
Like I actually use them to take the first layer off, and then I wash my face with.
Yes, and that's what I would recommend. The thing with makeup wipes too is look at the ingredients. Okay, the ingredients are key. If they have things like propylene glycol, alcohols, you're actually drying out your skin versus hydrating it. And propylene glycol is actually a toxin. It's an endocrine disruptor as well.
So let's stop there for 1 second. I'm going to stop you there for a second because I want to put it out there to ladies and gentlemen. We all have face, we all have skin, and we got to look after it. But here's the thing, now Ashley is as a mom of 6. So having 6 kids, now I can sort of comprehend because I come from a family with 4 kids, but that's another 2. So that's a whole new ball of wax in my thumb. But seriously, as you know, for me, I was a stay-at-home mom and did everything and did all the cooking and cleaning and I was your all-in-one person. And by the end of the day, I had no desire to look after myself. You know, those days, you know, in the early days of babies, I didn't even work out at the beginning part of it because it was so much. We always worry about the kids. What do the kids need? But here's the thing: is what Ashley's starting to say is we need to stop and we need to do something for ourselves. Remember that when the happier we are, the more we look after ourselves, the healthier we are going to be mentally and physically. And skincare is really important. You know, now I'm in probably a different level of you ladies. My kids are very much grown up now, and I'm here, you know, having my own life, but you know, I still come to parts where I'm still not looking after myself at times. I have to keep reminding myself. So your session where you're saying of going in and at least having the proper product to start washing is the great first step, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Okay. And then what's your next step after you've done a cleansing?
So after you cleanse, in the products that I use, it's a 3-step system. 5 pieces will give you like the Mac Daddy. Like 9 pieces will give you like the whole shebang if you're looking for anti-aging. But to start, if you're like, okay, I don't have a routine, I don't know where to begin, then I tell ladies, men, keep it simple with 3. Start with 3, add from there. But the second step is the freshener. It's kind of like this rinse cycle, if you will. It sets the skin up to receive the moisturizer. It helps oxygenate the skin as well, and it helps it bring it back to balance. Your skin has a pH, and when that pH is too much or too little, it can have like that dryness, or it can have that acne if there's too much acid in pH. So you really want it to be balanced. And of course, that's something that doesn't happen overnight either. It takes time. But when the skin is in that balance, it should have the pH of your tears. So it should be very gentle. Something that is too acidic on the skin can be damaging and cause that cell damage. So after you do like that second step with balancing that pH, then you go into the moisturizer. Now, a lot of moisturizers have mineral oil or are oil based. And how many times have you applied a moisture lotion and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? You've got zits. Or all of a sudden you're like, oh, my face feels so slimy because it's sitting on the surface of your skin and it makes it feel drier, or like you need to reapply because it's not truly soaking into your subcutaneous layers of your skin or into your skin cells. So our products that we use hydrate from the inside out. So because aloe is the first ingredient, it needs water to be able to absorb into the layers of the skin. So aloe is a humectant. It's water loving. It needs water to drive into those skin cells. So today I'm going to show you a demo of the exfoliator that I use. And I might, if we have time, I might go into some of the other pieces. But the other thing to keep in mind, if you want to go beyond just the 3 pieces, is eye care, because as we age, starting at about age 18, your cell regeneration starts to slow down. By the age of 30, your cell absorption and like turnaround time really decreases by 1 to 2% each year. So you start to see those crow's feet. You start to see kind of those bags under the eyes. And your eye skin is very thin. It's not like the skin of your cheeks. It's super, super sensitive and you need to be very delicate with that area. So if you're cleansing your eyes and you're tugging and you're pulling, or if you're applying like eyeliner and you're, tugging on your eye, you're creating those fine lines and wrinkles because you're damaging those underlying cells. So when I tell people to apply like an eye gel or an eye cream, use your ring fingers. That will give you the least amount of pressure, and you want to tap. You don't want to like pull. Usually I will tap and I will gently, like in a circular motion, kind of rub it in, but I tap, and that helps bring that blood flow to the under eyes as well. But exfoliation is also key. Sometimes you can over exfoliate. Your skin has to have time in between exfoliation sessions to be able to regenerate those cells and push that dead skin out. So once to twice a week, if you're more in like that 40 to 50, 60 range, you might want to do like 3 times a week. But usually it's 1 to 2. And that exfoliation will help clear out the pores. It will help clear out that dead skin. So once those pores are clear, then you can follow with a water-soluble cleanser in the following pieces. So
I'm curious with each, you talked about age a lot. And so there's a distinct difference from how you should be doing it in your 20s to 40s to 60s. Is that what in terms of what you're using, or how you're washing, or how you're applying?
Really, in reality, it's never too early to start anti-aging. It's easier to do it before it sets in than it is after it sets in, and then you're trying to reverse it. When you're trying to reverse some of those signs of aging, now, that's not to say that it's just magically going to disappear, because that's not going to happen. We all age. But you can reduce those signs of aging the more that you're using it consistently and you're using the right products for your skin.
Because so there is help for me. Yes.
Yeah. There is help for everybody's skin.
Okay.
There
I'm better. I'm better.
It's just, it might take a little more time than what it would if it was done before those signs set in.
I don't have time, Ashley. I need it yesterday.
Okay, well,
that's who you are. So let's other little things, like let's talk about, it is really important of products that use good quality products, that we can add to our skin. Let's talk about for a second the other realistic thing is learning to add certain things, like one important thing is to be eating well, because whatever we eat comes into our body, which affects our skin.
Yes.
So all of this comes holding true into helping you even as you're aging. If you're eating a lot of things with fat in it and junk foods, let's not be silly in thinking that it's not going to affect you. All these things still affect you. And of course, like you mentioned earlier, the good old water factor, we've got to keep drinking, hydrate ourselves. And remember that hydration changes. It helps our brain function. It helps, our body is majority of water. It helps everything. And it flushes through a lot of the garbage that we have in our own bodies.
Yes. So, and it's funny you say that, because so here's a true confession. I usually don't come up with a script of what I'm going to talk about. The last night I was like, I want to do some talking points, right? And water was actually one of those. And as we age, it actually is harder for our skin cells to absorb water. So I was like, that's kind of fascinating, and if your skin is dehydrated because you're not taking in more water than your body is excreting, then yes, your skin will become dehydrated, which will cause wrinkles. So that hydration is key. And not only that, but what causes the dehydrated skin? It isn't just a lack of water. It's environmental toxins. It's air conditioning. Those different temperature changes can dehydrate your skin. So for us,
Yeah.
we're going into fall. I mean, Glenda, you're in Canada, you know what it's like. Winter is
Here.
cold,
Yeah.
you know, but it's like we're going into fall here in Wisconsin, and our winters get, you know, in the negatives quite a bit,
Yes.
and very cold, and your skin gets drier. It changes with the weather. But taking hot showers or baths, harsh chemicals in your skincare, and even that poor diet, if it's high in dairy, if it's high in any sort of allergy trigger, it's going to flush out in your skin. And some of the functions of your skin, if you guys didn't know, there's 7 different functions of your skin. And it's detoxification. So if you eat something that you're like, and then maybe a couple days later you've got a few blemishes, or all of a sudden your skin is like, I don't think I liked that. It's sensation. It's heat regulation. There is a bug climbing on my wall. Sorry, guys. Like total distraction. But absorption and the protection. It obviously protects our bodies. You've got secretion. Now, what's the difference between that secretion and that excretion? Secretion is just moving a substance from one area to the body to another. Because I had to look that up. I was like, okay, excretion and secretion, those things look to be almost like the same thing. So I had to kind of see what that meant. But the excretion is that removal of the waste. And then the vitamin D production. Your skin needs vitamin D because your body does not naturally produce vitamin D without the sun. And that's probably one of the things as a skincare specialist that I probably struggle with the most, in true transparency, is wearing a sunscreen, because I know sunscreen will block the vitamin D, and my body needs vitamin D living in the Midwest when we don't have a very large window of sunshine. And it's like, I struggle to wear it. I really, really do. But there are times that I obviously do put it on. So
I have a quick question too. You talked about a pH balance with your skin. So does it make a difference what kind of water you drink? For instance, I know there's alkaline water, there's spring water. What is it? What I'm reading now is just our generic plastic water. It's really not that good for us. We're getting nothing out of it. And a lot of times it's dehydrating us even more. So I'm just curious, is there, to keep everything in balance, is there something you know of or would recommend to everyone that would be beneficial to drink instead of, I would never drink tap water. That's out of the question, but
I would, but I trust Toronto's tap water. We have,
You wouldn't hear, Glenda. You can taste. You can taste.
But I do have filtered water. I actually drink from my refrigerator that has a filtered water.
Oh, I need to do that. It's a great idea.
Honestly, like I've heard from a doctor that I've gone to one of her conferences before. She recommended like Fuji water. Because of I think it was like the salt. There was something in the Fuji water that can actually bind to like some heavy metals and flush that out of the system. Some will say drink water with lemon and Himalayan sea salt, or some kind of, salt to be able to get those electrolytes, not iodized salt. Iodized salt you want to stay away from, but it needs to be like a Himalayan sea salt or like a Celtic, something like that. Because your body needs that salt to be able to restore those electrolytes that you lose. Some will say reverse osmosis. I honestly, water is a tough one because yes, you can have all those filtrations and everything, but something I want people to think about as well, and something that my naturopath has talked about multiple times, is you can have that water filtration, but it doesn't filter out pharmaceuticals. So that's something that you have to be careful of no matter what you're drinking. Like if you have a filtration system in your house, you still have to be careful and know, okay, is it filtering out pharmaceuticals? Because if women are on birth control, they pee, right? That goes into the water system. That does not filter out. So that's something that it's like, I'm glad I have well water, in all honesty, that I'm not connected to any city water, but you still have to be careful even with well water. So I honestly, that's something that can be a toss up, I guess. If you're more comfortable drinking like bottled water, as far as like the Fuji or something like that, I would dump it out of the plastic and make sure it's in glass,
Yeah.
or stainless steel. Tap water or city water, definitely not my first choice of something to drink. Obviously, if you're in a pinch and you need to drink something, then obviously, of course, drink water. But yeah, I don't follow too much on like what's better or worse, I guess. So that's a good question. Like I'd have to look further into it. I know there's like Berkey water filters that a lot of people swear by, that sit on the counter, but whole house filtration systems we've kind of looked into, but it's knowing what's good to filter that house water out, really.
Okay.
But like I said, the salt water and like lemon water, it kickstarts that metabolism and then replenishes those electrolytes. So, if you have an alkaline water that you like, and that's the struggle too. If the body is too alkaline or too acidic, like you can run the risk of honestly disease. Like if there's too much, not enough acidity, you can run into health problems with that. If there's too much acidity, you run into issues with that. So it's like it's trying to find that balance, and what that is for everybody, it's different because somebody might be too acidic and need more alkaline water. Somebody could be too alkaline and need more like something acidic. So I mean,
Yeah.
everybody is really different. So
And
it's
that's
not,
true. And I'm sure it depends on what you're ingesting as far as food too, what
yeah,
your body's reacting to. So
yeah,
that makes sense. Thank you for explaining that to me.
no problem. Any other questions that you ladies have, or do you want me to get into some demo now?
Sure. Well, I just want to ask one other thing that I started doing probably about a year ago, or maybe it was the middle of COVID, where I bought myself a steamer. And and I'm not great that I'm saying every week, but every so often, and I take off my makeup and then I steam my face and then clean it again. And I find that when I do that more, that I see really a difference in everything in my face. So in a really great positive way, how it just cleans and restores, even the shine into my face and everything. So that could be part of a strat. Of course, it's like I never use any type of soap or anything like that on my face. I always have cleansers. I've been since a kid, my mother got us all into regimes of looking after our skin. But it's really just important, like we say again, it's how important it is just to take time, even if it's a little time, to put aside for yourself.
Yeah, yep, for
Absolutely.
sure. Yep. And nighttime, everybody thinks that your skin has to be cleansed like right before you go into bed. If you're like, okay, nighttime is crazy for me. I get home from work, I gotta make dinner, I gotta do homework with the kids, like all of this stuff. When you get home, and let's be real here, ladies, you whip off the bra, you're like, it's comfy clothes time because I've got nobody to answer to right now other than
One of
maybe
those
my
woo woo.
like, let's be free, right? You go in the bathroom, you get comfortable, wash your face. Then you don't even have to worry about it before you crawl into bed because you already did it. Your skin is already good to go. You eat some dinner, relax with the family, go to bed. You're done. It's not something that you have to do right before you go to bed. Typically, I will, just because I'm a night owl and my husband is usually sleeping before I am. So I'll wash my face, brush my teeth, and then I'll crawl into bed. I'll watch some TV, whatever I do, and then I'll go to sleep. But it's not something that has to be overly complicated. And so often, like I said earlier, we overcomplicate it. We look at it and we're like, ugh, okay, distraction. I'm going to find something else to do. Anything but taking care of my skin or myself in general. So that's just something that I like to throw out there. It doesn't have to be right before bed. Like, you can do it right when you get home from work if that's when you're the most energized before you get into the rest of your evening. So that's just my little tip on that.
Thank you. So since I work at home, I'll just go from my office to my bathroom and I'll put a little timer. When it dings, I'm done.
Yes, pretty much. Like, and I tell, and if it's something that you have to set alarms for, or I tell ladies, okay, if you've got a full-size bottle of cleanser, get a little 2-ounce travel bottle, put one in your shower and keep one on your sink. Then when you go in the shower, oh yeah, I've got my cleanser in here. Or you're right by your sink because you're not taking a shower that morning or that evening. Oh, I've got my cleanser right here. Like, it's in front of you, it's in sight, it's in mind. And once you start getting into that routine of twice a day, morning and night, like, it becomes a habit, right? 21 days and you generate a new habit. So then it's like, okay, oh, I didn't wash my face yet today. Oh, I didn't do this yet today. And then you almost like, yep, I've got to do that. Oh, now I remember I got to do that. And it's just, it becomes a routine, if you will, and you just go about.
Yeah, and I could use a good habit too. No, I've got plenty of bad ones, so this would be a really good one for me.
Right?
Used to that feeling of having that clean face. So once you start to get used to that, like I very rarely ever will find that I'll go to bed unless I'm so exhausted that I can't even move. But besides that, too much of a party the night before or whatever. But besides,
she's telling her secrets.
Oh dear. No.
Well, the times happen.
Oh, it does.
But I'm just saying, for the most part, I will never, I just don't feel like I'm ready for bed unless my face is all washed and all the rest of it.
Right.
So take us away, show us, do your regime.
So this is like, it's almost empty, but this is my fruit salad in a tub. It smells like orange and it has papaya and papain enzymes. So this is the exfoliating product that I use 2 to 3 times a week, and it's kind of like a gel. I tell ladies, typically it's like you're putting jelly on a piece of toast. Now,
is your face, when you do the exfoliant, you've already taken off all your makeup and everything. Is that correct?
So when I have people starting on samples, I tell them to start at night with their cleanser, their freshener, and their moisture lotion. And then when they get up in the morning, do the facial peel first thing, because then you can get all that dead skin off right away. So you want your face to be clean and dry for this to activate. So the papaya and papain enzymes, the papain is only found in unripened papaya. But what that enzyme does is it breaks down those dead skin cells and it doesn't damage any new ones. Unlike a lot of beaded exfoliators, you damage any new skin cells. So you have to be careful. This is a non-chemical peel, okay? And it's not, when you think peel, you think, oh, I'm going to stick this on my face, it's going to dry, and then, I got to peel it off. That's not the case. When you apply it in a thin layer evenly all over the face, it starts to activate and feel like you're sweating. So right now, it takes about 30 to 40-ish seconds. But any extra, I rub them on my hands. And I use this on my feet too, because I like to get all the dead skin off my feet. But when this is sitting and it starts to feel like I'm sweating, I just go in a circular motion and I just rub it off. And that's all you do. And you start to feel like beading under your fingers. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but all of those like white speckles on my hand, that's my dead skin. It's peeling it off in a non-chemical way. It's gross, but it's super fun because then your skin ends up really soft afterwards. And you can almost do like a challenge with this where you do half of your face with the facial peel and then the other half you just, leave normal. And then you can compare the softness to your skin.
But that's so fast. That amazes me that it's done so quickly.
Yeah,
Some of the masks you have to leave on for 45 minutes or an hour, and that's doing it as we're talking.
Yep. And it's literally, like I said, it takes about 30 seconds. Now, when I add in like my cleansers and everything, or if I do the peel with my full routine, like I said, it takes me about 3 minutes. If I'm just doing my cleanser and my freshener and my moisture lotion, I'm done in like a minute. It doesn't take that long. And then typically I would go to the sink and I would wash this all off, but I'll just use my washcloth and you just wipe it off. And then your skin is super soft afterwards because you exfoliated all of that dead skin off your face.
Yeah, when you made sure you missed your eyes when you were doing that, right?
Yep. The facial peel you don't want to put you can obviously go like under your eyes. Ugh. Dead skin in the mouth doesn't taste good, I promise.
Not an appetizer, is it?
No, it's not. It's not a crumb to save for later. But now my skin is super smooth and soft because I literally got all of that dead skin off my face. Then I typically I use a deep pore cleaner just because my skin is blemish prone. So I just put a little squirt in my hand with some water, and then I follow with my cleanser. Now, a lot of cleansers will tell you, avoid the eye area, right? Why are they telling you to avoid the eye area? You have bacteria that stay trapped in your eyelashes and your eyebrows. You need to be cleansing the eye area as well. There's skin there that needs to be cleaned. This is super gentle. As you can see, I literally put this on my eyes and I opened them. It doesn't burn. Now, if you literally get it directly in your eye, then it might burn just a smidge, but it's super gentle because it has aloe and there's no harsh, toxic ingredients in it. And then you just wipe.
So this is the cleanser that you're washing off now.
This is the cleanser. And it's water soluble. So it doesn't have those oil bases that are going to clog the pores. This actually cleans the pores out and flushes it. And that's the cleanser. And that's literally, of course I didn't grab another towel, but we'll just air dry.
Blow dry.
Yeah. So that's the cleanser. And then I move into my freshener, where did I put it? I thought I had it out, but apparently I didn't grab that one. One of the other things, as far as the anti-aging products that ladies can use, and I'm not going to demonstrate this one because this one takes about 10 to 15 minutes to kind of set, but this is a tightening mask and it's just a facial mask. But it has aloe as the first ingredient. But when you put this on, it actually lifts. So it's a non-surgical facelift in a bottle or liquid gold is what we like to call that one. And it smooths out any lines and wrinkles. If there's any like sagging to the face, this is one that I tell ladies, do half of your face. And, to be able to compare and see the plumpness and the lift compared to the other side. And women are blown away at what this product can do. And I can always, in the comments on Facebook, I can always post a couple like before and after pictures.
And how long does that take for delivery? Could I have it by the weekend?
Where the heck is my
Hmm.
freshener? I don't even know where it is. You probably would not have it by the weekend, but
Darn.
you most likely have it before the end of the week. I
Okay.
don't know where. I literally just used my freshener like yesterday. I don't know where the heck it went. Did my kids take it?
I was going to say, you have 7 kids. It could be in any room of the house at this point, or a toy box.
I know, right? No, I found it. But I was like, wait a minute. I just used this. So I take a beauty pad and just apply this. You try to go in like that upward, outward motion, but I'm not always the best at that because you never want to help gravity by going down. You always want to try to go up and out. And then go over the eyes. And then boom, you're done. So then I take my eye gel, tap my fingers together, and just tap. All over and up into that brow area too. And that's the eye gel. And then moisture lotion. Again, water soluble, so it does not have water. So I put a little bit on my hand and I use a antioxidant mist to apply. I just put some of that in my palm. Take my moisture lotion, mix the two together and apply. And that is my routine.
Well, I am so darn ashamed of myself because that really is very quick.
That's it. It is. And like any anti-aging products, I mean, we have a whole line. We've got neck cream, we've got serums, we've got hyaluronic acid, intense moisture boost to help plump up the skin, which actually helps with collagen production. Okay. Collagen is huge. Your collagen reduces as you age. So you need to have collagen if you want to avoid wrinkles. Because it's that glue that holds our skin together. So I take a collagen supplement, but then I also use, especially in wintertime, I use a hyaluronic acid. That's the big buzzword in a lot of beauty products in the industry right now. But not all hyaluronic acid is created equal. And
so
there's
tell us what that is.
So our hyaluronic acid, it can hold up to, I think it's 1,000 times its weight in water. So when you apply that to your skin, it gives that plumpness. It boosts that moisture lotion, or not that moisture lotion, but that moisture into your skin. And it sucks it right into those cells. And then it gives your skin that plump look. But our hyaluronic acid is sourced from olives. So that's one of those things. Where is it sourced from? Because not all hyaluronic acid is sourced the same. It doesn't have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the same molecular structure. Like some products will have less hyaluronic acid. They'll be like, oh, it's got hyaluronic acid. But then when you look at the ingredient list, it's the very last thing. So that tells you there's probably not that much of it actually in the product. Because when you look at your labels, when you see water as the first ingredient, which that's about probably 90% of the products on the market, water as that first ingredient means it has a 50 to 75% water content. So you're paying for water versus our products have aloe as the first ingredient. So you're paying for about 75 to 80% aloe. Aloe is the king of all anti-aging products in the industry. It's been around for centuries. So you've got aloe. And then, as you go down the list, that tells you what, kind of their, I guess, quantity or, amount that's in the product. So the very last ingredient is probably the one that has just an itty bitty amount versus the first. That's going to be your most like ingredient makeup, if you will. The word I'm looking for is just not there today.
So anytime we go to buy something, then we should always check the label and just not what we hear. And
Yes.
if water is the first ingredient, that's what it's mainly made up of, we stay away from that. Is that correct?
I If you're not looking to switch out your skincare, then you're going to find water in pretty much everything. If
Okay.
you're looking for something that has aloe as the first ingredient, it is harder to come by because not a lot of companies will use aloe as the first ingredient. And that's what makes the skincare products I use different from those in the industry. And I've looked at a lot. They always have water as that first ingredient, and typically that second ingredient is going to be some type of alcohol. Labri uses, that's the company that I use. They use plant-based ingredients and deep sea plants and botanicals, no artificial fragrances, no mineral oils, because mineral oil is cheap, right? You think baby oil, it dehydrates the skin. Mineral oil actually sucks the moisture out. It doesn't hydrate. So, looking at your ingredients is important. And if you're like, okay, what is this ingredient? If I would send you to my website and you would look at the ingredient list, you could ask me, okay, what is this? Typically, I have, a glossary that I can look, where is it derived from? Our alcohols are typically derived from like sugars and coconut and things like that. So it's finding that out. But then there's some that are proprietary that I have no access to. But I can always ask. That's the beautiful thing. I have a product specialist that I can send an email to and get an answer if there's questions that arise that I don't have the answer to. But yes, it's definitely looking at your ingredients, because a product could tell you, yeah, we contain honey and oats, and then you flip it over and none of those are actually on the ingredient list. I've had some friends that have done that. They've gone to the store, it says on the front, oh, it's got honey and oats. I think it was in a shampoo or something. And then they flipped it over and that wasn't even on the ingredient list. It was water and alcohols and propylene glycol and sodium lauryl sulfate and all of these other things that are like, if your soaps get really lathery, that's called sodium lauryl sulfate,
Mhm.
and it's a silicone, and it's an endocrine disruptor as well. It's in
Wow.
plastics and things like that. So that's what makes your soaps really lathery. If you saw, my soap didn't really lather. It doesn't get all bubbly because we don't have sodium lauryl sulfate. We don't test on animals either, and we don't source any products that require animal testing. So we're cruelty free, if I can talk,
Yay.
cruelty free company. And the beautiful thing, the home office is located down in Mugwanago, Wisconsin. So they are a Wisconsin based company too. So that makes it even more fun that
Yeah.
it's,
Now, do they do other products other than face? I mean, do they have for
yes.
the hands, for,
Yep.
just
They've
parts
got,
of the body that do age or, could be cared for also?
yep. So we have full body care. We've got hair care. We've got makeup. We have skin care. We've got body care. We've got men's stuff, kids. We even have a home cleaner. We also have a hair, skin, and nails vitamin. So we've got it all. All of my body care in my house, for not just me, but my kids too, is all from Labri. So I know where it comes from and what the ingredients are. And I'm particular for my kids. I don't use traditional soaps. I never have on them, even since they were babies. We even use the Labri shampoo on our dogs. It's safe for pets too. So they're able, because it has aloe. So their coat becomes super soft and super shiny, and then they actually smell delicious versus their stinky selves.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
So
they're dogs.
yeah, exactly. So if you said the 3-step is the simplest, if there was just someone that wanted to do one step and that's it, what would you say is the most important thing to do if that's all the time you're willing to take? Not that I'm saying that for me, but just curious.
If all that, okay, so let's look at it this way. If all you're going to do is one piece, I would say our products are probably not for you.
Okay.
If you want the most benefit, and I'm not saying this from like that quote unquote salesy position, I'm saying for the maximum benefit to not just protect your skin, but to give your skin that overall full benefit of healthy products, you need to do at least a moisturizer and the cleanser. So those two pieces. If you occasionally do the freshener, okay, whatever. I have some customers that do that. And there's times that I skip the freshener altogether because I think that sometimes it oxygenates my skin too much. And then I end up with breakouts. So if you're just wanting to do one, you're not going to see that benefit, because then that tells me you're probably adding in other products from other companies. And when you hodgepodge, is what we call it, when you hodgepodge and mix product lines together, you actually confuse your skin and can do more damage than you can healing, because it confuses your skin. It doesn't know the different ingredients. And with Librai's system, it's built to build. So your cleanser sets your skin up to receive that freshener, and that freshener sets your skin up to receive that moisture lotion. So they all work in conjunction together for that maximum healing benefit. And if you, like I said, if you're hodgepodging, you're going to end up with an oily T-zone and dry skin here and breakouts here, and it's just going to be a hot mess. And you're not going to see those results that you're seeking. So if you're looking for like that anti-aging or that hydrated skin, you need to be using a system, not multiple product lines, because they're all created differently and they're all structurally different. The ingredients are sourced from different places, and it's just, it turns into a mess.
Okay.
I've
So
had,
all of yours complement each other.
yes, they do. I've
Thank you.
hodgepodge before, and my skin was a disaster, so I don't recommend it.
Ashley, do you have different products for different age? So younger people use different products as opposed to older people?
So it really depends what you're seeking. If you're looking more for that anti-aging piece, we do have anti-aging sets. And sets give you the most bang for your buck, if you will. And they give you the most anti-aging benefit as far as product lines. But we don't go off of like necessarily the age of your skin. It's more so, what's your skin type? Are you dry? Are you normal to dry? Are you normal to extra dry? Or are you like normal to T-zone oily? You know, are you super oily and blemish where you could fry an egg on your face right after you wash it because it's so greasy? You know, so we go off of skin type. We have a chart you can look at to determine that and answer some questions. Or we have like a skincare advisor analyzing tool that you take, you answer some questions like your age, some of your trouble areas, and then you take a selfie. And what it does is it analyzes the areas and it tells you, okay, you've got some dark circles here, you've got some redness or unevenness here, you've got some wrinkles up here. You know, it does all of that. And then it puts those recommended products like in a list for you, and you can add them directly to your shopping cart. It's a slick tool, and you can add additional anti-aging products if you wanted to. You know, that's the beautiful thing. So I don't say that it's necessarily like age specific. It's more so, what's your skin type? Let's start there and go into what you need.
Okay, so now as we're getting close to the end, and I just want to make sure that if somebody wants to reach out and talk to you, where can they connect with you so they can find out more about buying your products, getting some more information?
The best way to connect with me is send me a message on Facebook. And then from there, I connect you to where you need to go. I do a lot of social media interaction with people. So send me a friend request, follow it with a message, and you'll catch me live. We are every day in my VIP community And you'll also catch me live a few times a week on my public profile. I do makeover Thursdays. My kids do my makeup on Fridays. That's kind of scary. I'm sure, Nicole, you've probably seen a few. But
You're a good sport.
yeah, Facebook is probably the easiest place to find me. Some settings on computers don't always bring people to my Actually Skincare with Ashley page. So sometimes that's a hit or miss. So Facebook is always the easiest place to find me. And then I direct you where you need to go from there. So that's my little drop on that, because security settings on computers are always lovely sometimes.
Well, I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you taking the time today and telling, first of all, the most important thing is, if you haven't heard the message yet, take care of yourself. That's where it all starts, right?
Yes, for sure.
We've been given one vessel in our lifetime, and it's up to us to look after that. And that's our internal and our external. So the message today is really to spend that 5-10 minutes. And if that's all it really is, to look after your skin, start doing it. Because you know what? When people meet you, that's the first thing. Remember, we only have 2 seconds really for a first impression. And if your skin is not saying anything about itself, which it will, if you're all full of breakouts and all the rest, you're going to be showing it. So look after what has been given to you and treasure that. We'll also put your link down into afterwards, so that your Facebook link, so people will be able to see that and come to you. And thank you very much for giving us such incredible, very important information.
Well, thanks for having me, ladies. It was fun.
Thank you. And Nicole, do you have any last departing words for our guests?
One of the things that she talks about is it only takes a few minutes. And to me, your skin is your largest organ. Very, very important. For me, I would take 10 minutes off the computer. I would take 10 minutes off the TV. I would replace that with skincare, because when you do something to yourself, for yourself, that's a form of self-love, and it becomes a habit, and it feels really good. And the more you do it, you're going to really start appreciating yourself and where that's leading you to.
Beautiful. Well, it's a happy Wednesday, and thank you so much for giving us such beautiful tips. And if nothing else, remember, self-love is the way to go.
Absolutely.
Even a woman with 6-7 kids can do it. So what are we all waiting for?
Absolutely. Good point, Glenda. Good point.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to connecting up again soon. On the side of that, remember, happy Wednesday. Treasure yourself.